home on 17th Avenue. We do not know the victim's name, but we do know that 4 kupuna have now died in fires on Oahu in just 1 week's time.
So there's been studies where a room with a lot of fuel in it, actually you only have 2 minutes to get out safely. The toxic smoke will get to you. Preparation is very important. See how long it takes you to get out of the house safely.
Last Wednesday, 2 people died after a house fire in Manoa. They have been identified as Robin and Lisa Mezurashi. We're told they are brother and sister. Now, their cause and manner of death is still pending. And on Monday, a 72-year-old man died after a house fire in Liliha. Oahu's first fire death of the year was, of course, 25-year-old firefighter Jeffrey Fiala. He died in the line of duty in McCully on January 6th. To national news, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is the next target of the Trump administration cuts. About 20,000 employees are being let go from different agencies. Meanwhile, the president also pulled his nominee for U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Erica Brown tells us why.
President Trump has asked Representative Elise Stefanik to stay in Congress and withdraw her nomination for U.S. ambassador to the United Nations.
I was surprised. I think Representative Stefanik may well have served successfully as ambassador to the UN, certainly from the perspective of the Trump administration.
With the GOP holding a razor-thin majority in the House, Trump says every Republican seat is essential to advance his agenda.
Our numbers are tight after the Florida elections. Hopefully we pick up 2 more seats. It's always going to be a tight majority.
As the president considers other potential nominees for UN ambassador, he's also pushing ahead with his efforts to slash the size of the government. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. took to social media Thursday to announce mass layoffs within the department.
As part of President Trump's DOGE workforce reduction initiative, we're going to streamline HHS to make our agency more efficient and more effective.
The department is cutting 20,000 employees from its payroll. That's nearly a quarter of the entire agency. HHS officials say about half of those workers took buyouts or early retirement. The cuts include 3,500 workers at the Food and Drug Administration, 2,400 at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and 300 staffers at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
When you fire people who provide Medicare and Medicaid, that is the same as a benefit cut. When you fire people who prevent the spread of diseases like measles, America will get sicker.
The White House says the HHS cuts will save $1.8 billion. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Happening today here at home, Mayor Blangiardi will hold a town hall meeting at Kalanianaole Beach Park in Waianae. It will be the first of 7 town hall meetings he will hold across Oahu to give residents the opportunity to voice their concerns directly to officials. The meeting will begin at 7 p.m. in the Recreation Center and will be broadcasted live on Olelo 54 as well. Drinking water safety concerns. Environmentalists are raising the alarm about a plan to reactivate a source of water from military homes here on Oahu. Ben Gutierrez has more.
Since December 2021, the drinking water for Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam has come from the Navy's Waiawa shaft. Now, officials are pushing to reactivate the Halawa Aiea shaft as a backup water source.
It has been testing positive for PFAS for some time now, and we don't know what else is in there, and that's the problem here with this issue is we don't have access to the groundwater test.
The Navy has a drinking water monitoring website, but residents say it's hard to use. Sonoda Pale and others say the test results should be on that website.
It should be listed where the Waiawa shaft is listed, and the Waiawa shaft groundwater testing results are on that website, but not the Halawa Aiea shaft.
That was apparent at the Navy Red Hill Closure Task Force open house 2 weeks ago.
Because this pulls up all drinking water sources. Navy Aiea Halawa is not currently a drinking water source.
She asked them, where's the data? And they were scrambling like, oh, no, we're going to get the data up. It's not there.
So I'll fix it so it'll be clearly listed.
Thank you.
This information does get put out there publicly. However, not in such a way where the public actually sees it.
It was last month when the state health department gave the Navy conditional approval to use the Halawa Aiea shaft for drinking water, but only after implementing treatment against contaminants and including strict water quality testing and inspections by the health department and the EPA.
That water will be going into people's faucets. We need to understand and know what kind of tests are being done and what's in the water, both before it goes into the treatment and after.
And there are still concerns that the contamination could still spread from Red Hill to other water sources like Halawa Aiea.
I'm just a civilian. I should just be able to turn on my tap water, be like, yay, it's fine.
And that's Ben Gutierrez reporting. Have you seen this man? Big Island police need the public's help in finding 18-year-old Lipomala E. Kahai Burgess of Pahoa. He was reported missing today. He was last seen in the area of Hibiscus Drive in Pahoa last night at around 6:30. Kahai Burgess is described as 5 feet 10 inches tall, 130 pounds, with short, straight brown hair and blue eyes. Please call police if you see him.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Almost to the weekend. I want to take a look at our winds outside right now. Overall southeasterly flow outside across most of the island chain. We're actually seeing northwesterly winds right over in Kona right now. However, the reason we're seeing southeasterly winds is because of a high pressure system off to our northeast, but it's driving fog towards the rest of the island chain. You can see as we're going forward throughout Friday afternoon, you're going to continue to see foggy conditions over the entirety of the state. A bulk of the fog, however, staying off to the west of Hawaii Island and south of Maui County, Oahu and Kauai, but still seeing slightly lowered air quality out there over the next couple of days. I'll give you a full breakdown of this coming up in just a little bit, and we'll take a look at our hour-by-hour forecast, so stick around.
Thank you, Drew. The Daniel Kahikina Akaka State Veterans Home was dedicated in Kapolei yesterday. It's the second state veterans home in Hawaii. The first residents have already moved into the 120-bed facility. Family members of the late U.S. Senator Akaka were at the ceremony.
My grandfather, Senator Daniel Kahikina Akaka, served in the Army during World War II, and he never forgot the sacrifices of our men and women in uniform because he was there.
It was a passion of my dad to get a home on every island. He said he won't stop till there's a veterans home on every single island. Since there's one already in Hilo, they need one on Kona side too.
Plans are underway for a home on Maui as well. Well, head on This Is Now, a closer look at how a 25% tariff on all vehicles and auto parts imported into the U.S. would affect car prices for consumers. Plus, as Vice President Vance prepares to visit Greenland tomorrow, locals sound off on what they think of President Trump's push for the U.S. to take over the territory. more for your next car. After President Trump announced a 25% tariff on all cars and parts shipped to the U.S., experts are warning prices could surge perhaps within the next few weeks. Michael Yoshida has more.
You could be in store for potential sticker shock at the dealership.
By this time next year, the typical car price will be somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 more.
That's because newly announced auto tariffs, if they take effect and stay in place, will apply to not just foreign-made cars, but also car parts, including things like engines and transmissions. That's important because
made in the United States is a bit of a misnomer in some sense, because even for American-made cars, imported car parts are the ones that are going into those cars, and those car parts are going to be tariffed.
10.2 million vehicles built in U.S. factories last year were built with a significant number of imported parts, mainly from Canada and Mexico.
What's going to happen to car production in the United States and car production elsewhere is that costs are going to go up, and when costs go up, that means prices are going to go up for consumers.
Experts say retaliatory tariffs from other countries could make matters worse, potentially impacting production and supply. And even if automakers don't raise their wholesale prices, there are other ways to pass costs on to buyers, such as removing incentives. That could include no longer offering car loans at low interest rates, which would reduce automakers' costs, but potentially raise the cost to buyers by thousands of dollars per vehicle. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance will be joining his family on a trip to Greenland tomorrow, a place that President Trump has said as recently as yesterday that he wants to absorb into the U.S. The defense minister of Denmark, which controls the island, says his country will not let the U.S. decide Greenland's future. Holly Williams is following the developments.
Greenland is roughly 3 times the size of Texas, mostly covered in ice sheet, with a population of about 56,000, mostly Inuit, who are indigenous to this place. And for now, it's a semi-autonomous part of Denmark, which is one of America's NATO allies. This frozen land, close to the top of the world, has been dragged into a geopolitical storm.
He just can't take it like that.
Daniel Rosing is a trainee electrician who told us he's proud of being a Greenlander. Would you like to be American?
Oh, no, not really. I could visit America just for vacation and look around, but no.
President Trump says he wants to take control of Greenland for security reasons, refusing to rule out using force. But 85% of Greenlanders do not want to be part of the United States, according to a recent poll.
I think it's stupid.
Niven Wak Rasmussen is a shop assistant.
He says he wants national security, but I don't believe him.
What do you think he really wants?
Something else that he's hiding.
The US military base that Vice President Vance and the Second Lady will visit is critical to America's defense because the shortest route for Russian ballistic missiles to reach the US is over the Arctic. But some Greenlanders told us it's not Russia that worries them, it's America.
It's very scary for me, so like he can do whatever he wants, kind of. Yeah, so it's very scary.
Climate change here in Greenland is melting the ice and making lucrative mineral reserves more accessible. Some Greenlanders have told us they believe what Trump really wants is their natural resources, and they do not trust him. Holly Williams, CBS News.
And new at noon, Buckingham Palace says King Charles III has been hospitalized for observation after experiencing temporary side effects from his scheduled cancer treatment. His engagements for this afternoon and Friday have been canceled. The 76-year-old monarch has been undergoing treatment for an undisclosed form of cancer for more than a year.
And stick around, we've got light winds and foggy skies in the forecast. I'll give you the full breakdown after the break.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. We're almost to the weekend. Here's what we're tracking over the next couple of days. Light southeasterly winds and some foggy skies. Of course, with the eruption that was yesterday, we've got a lot of that sulfur dioxide and the other fumes in the atmosphere right now. You can see in our overall weather pattern, breaking down our VOG forecast. Again, you're going to be seeing the overall VOG plume impacting the entire island chain. So the VOG is going as far west as Kauai. A bulk of the VOG, however, staying off to our south and southwest. So sunsets tonight are going to look really, really nice. So make sure to send some photos into the First Alert Weather team. We'll feature them on air. Current air quality, however, is relatively nice across the state. The only areas that are really being impacted are Captain Cook and over in Ocean View. They're seeing slightly lowered air quality on Hawaii Island. The rest of the island chain, however, is in the green, meaning we're seeing good air quality out across the entire island chain right now. The Lihue station is also not reporting any data. Overall winds out of the southeast in town, 12 miles per hour. We're actually seeing northwesterly winds in Kona right now. Breaking down your island by island forecast for Aloha Friday, you'll notice widespread haze is in the forecast for the entire island chain. On Oahu, spotty evening showers are possible. 85 degrees in town tomorrow, 83 in Kaneohe. A better chance for some windward showers out there. Partly sunny, some widespread haze over on Maui County. Calm winds will become more southeasterly in the evening. 84 for a high temperature in Kona. Of course, very foggy over on the Kona side of Hawaii Island, especially with the overall easterly flow out there. Hilo also foggy, 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. The northern portions of Hawaii Island will see a lot of fog and partly sunny conditions as well. Your surf and shoreline forecast, north facing shore seeing a small pulse for this afternoon, around 3 to 5 feet out there. West facing shores dropping, small around in town, 2 to 4 feet. East facing shores also relatively small. Your First Alert radar and satellite just giving you a glimpse of what's going on. Mostly sunny out there, just a few sprinkles on the First Alert radar and satellite. As we go island by island, you really can't see much out there. Maybe a few sprinkles along the Ko'olau, but really it's just relatively quiet across the entire state right now. Your First Alert 7-day forecast, as we're going forward, you're going to see a lot of sunshine. Of course, foggy conditions are the story going forward, and those high temperatures all week long. 85 degrees for a high temperature. It is going to be warm going forward. Also going to be getting warmer as you're waking up. Some of our lows at the beginning of next week could be around 72 to 73 degrees.
Thank you, Drew. Well, still to come, a street festival just for keiki is taking over Kakaako this weekend. Casey Lund has the details in 2 minutes.
for some really good news. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? is coming to Netflix. The streaming service is coming out with a live-action series based on Scooby and the Gang. The beloved animated series has been adapted for 3 live-action movies, but this will be the first ever live-action Scooby-Doo series. It will be an origin story featuring characters on the beloved mystery-solving gang from the original animated show. The 8-episode series will focus on the haunting case that brought the crew and their cowardly dog together. Netflix hasn't announced the cast or the release date, and the cast is very important here. It's
Absolutely.
Make or break.
And I hope he looks a little better than that guy.
And, another popular event returns to Kakaako this weekend, but this one is extra special for the kids.
Yeah, Casey Lund has a preview of the Keiki Street Festival happening on Saturday.
This is actually really cool, and we wanted to talk about it because it brings together a lot of opportunities to engage with kids and have some quality time, educational opportunities, fitness. We've been hanging out with Orange Theory again. They're going to be a part of this. But here in the barn is where a lot of those activities are going to happen. Art installations, places where kids can draw, create their own art, and then scan a QR code. It comes to life digitally. The Girl Scouts of Hawaii are going to be here doing bamboo bookmarks, stamp bookmarks, and then a lei creation, lei of gratitude, over closer to the restaurants there, where kids will be able to make their own lei, say what they're grateful for, and that's going to hang up here in the barn. So a lot of that happening here, but really a lot of booths, a lot of the food vendors are going to be out there. It's going to be a great time. It's the second year that American Savings Bank is sponsoring this event. I'm here with Mark Cunningham. He is the marketing director for American Savings Bank, celebrating 100 years, so this is going to be a real special occasion.
Absolutely. We're super excited to be here again. This is our second year sponsoring it. It's our 100th birthday, so we're going to have a party. Yeah. Anybody who comes by the booth, the first 100 kids are going to get a special birthday treat. We're going to be wearing birthday hats, blowing up balloons. There's going to be a magician doing, magician tricks along the way for people that are waiting in lines and just enjoying the time. Of the 60 vendors that are here, 10 of them are going to be part of our Buy Local program. Okay. Small businesses that work with us, they put together a special deal that are available for our card holders. So if anybody's got an American Savings Bank debit card, extra deal there. It's a great way to give back to the community and just engage with our small business community, give something to our customers as well.
And, worth mentioning again, I know we've mentioned this before, but a big opportunity as well for you folks as a financial institution to engage young people. The keiki, they're going to be here about financial literacy, right?
Really important. Having an early foundation in good financial understanding is just something that's going to benefit over a lifetime. So we're going to have some fun, engaging activities. We're going to have a scavenger hunt that takes you all throughout Kakaako for a scrambled word hunt. We've got some activity cards that the parents and the kids can both do, and anybody who brings those back can get a prize when they come back to our booth.
And talking to teens too at the older level about a checking account, starting a checking account, managing your finances, because things are changing in this world, and I think a lot of times younger people are dealing with money more than they were in the past.
Yeah, we definitely want to have a conversation with those folks. Come to the booth, we'll talk about it. We have a teen checking account that we're going to be doing. We're going to have a promotional for that as well. So a lot of good family time, but we also want to just have a big party too.
I love that. Mark Cunningham, thank you so much for being with us this morning. A big event again happening from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. throughout Kakaako. A lot of those kids activities, those keiki activities that I mentioned are happening here in the barn area, but it'll be all over, and a really awesome family-friendly fun event to tell you about. More details online at hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back into the studio.
Thank you, Case. Looks like a lot of fun. Lots going on.
Lots going on. I want to go back to Scooby-Doo because I'm very excited for that, actually. I loved the live-action movies growing up. I hope that they get the cast right.
I didn't watch it much, but I mean, I love, Great Danes. That's what he is, right? A Great Dane?
I have no idea.
He's a big dog. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. More news at 4 on First at 4.